Hi, this is Michael Buckhoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com. Today, I got an email. Let me read it to you. I'm going to look on another computer screen. It says, as you know, the most problem regarding Arabic people is how to listen effectively to the whole lecture or to the whole conversation, and at the same time, how to speak with correct pronunciation. So could you send me written tips regarding the effective listening and speaking, especially about the integrated tasks on the TOEFL iBT? So there's a lot of questions in there. So, okay, let's talk about listening to the whole conversation or lecture. This is the first part. Remember, with the integrated speaking and integrated writing, you actually have to sometimes read and then listen, and then you have to speak about it or you'll have to write about it. So the first thing is, in order to listen to the whole lecture or conversation, it's important that you get the gist. The gist is the main idea, the major points of what you have listened to and also what you have read. So how do you do that? For TOEFL type lectures and conversations, it's very important that you listen to the very beginning. Usually the first couple of lines or the first two exchanges in the conversation, that's where you actually get the topic. Now, once you have identified the topic, you need to ask yourself, what are the most important supporting points that relate to that topic? Now, this is important for integrated speaking and integrated writing because you should not include the minor details. You need to include the most important supporting points. So your goal from a listening standpoint and from a reading standpoint on the integrated TOEFL skills is to identify the main idea and then the important critical supporting points. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in relation to her question, it has to do with speaking with correct pronunciation. This is difficult because you're speaking in many cases about academic type topics. For example, speaking task 4 and speaking task number 6, it will ask you to either read or listen and then speak about something academic, or speaking task 6, you have to listen to something and then speak about that. So it is important that you can speak using good pronunciation about academic things. You need to have good pronunciation. The TOEFL is concerned with 3 major areas. I think the grouping and pausing is one area you need to practice. Number 2 is intonation, and number 3 is word stress. You need to make sure that you practice those 3 areas because the TOEFL iBT human raters, especially with the speaking, they have been instructed to listen to your ability to group certain things into what I call thought groups. For example, if I gave you the sentence, if I said, I'm going to the store to see my friend who is a baker. You notice I had 2 pauses in there? So generally, I try to group certain things together, usually maybe a subject and a verb, and then there might be a prepositional phrase after that. I might pause right before the prepositional phrase. I might pause right before a dependent clause. For example, I might say, I went to the store because I was hungry. Right? That's one pause. So the knowing when to pause and how to group certain things together is extremely important for your speaking skills. Intonation, whether you have falling or rising intonation at the end of a sentence is important. For example, yes, no questions, do you want to go to the store? Or WH questions, where are you going? So do you want to go to the store? You have the rising intonation at the end, and where am I going? You actually, with WH questions, you have falling intonation at the end. So it's important to get used to that, and also word stress. Now, in this short video, there is no way I can teach you all of those kinds of things. These are things that you need to spend some time studying in some English as a second language class and those. However, I should tell you that I do have a TOEFL iBT newsletter, and there does have specific practice to help you in some areas. So if you haven't done already, I would advise you to go to michaelbuckhoffnewsletter.com, check it out, subscribe. It's like $9 or $10 a month, and you can get instruction to improve your TOEFL speaking, your writing, reading, listening skills. Okay. Now here's one general tip about speaking. Get a hold of a reading passage. Hopefully you have a transcript to that. There are online radio stations, and I think it's NPR, National Public Radio. I've been to that website. And if you go to National Public Radio, it's possible that you can actually listen to some news reports and you can read along with the speaker by looking at the tape script. Not the transcript. This is very important for TOEFL because National Public Radio, it uses academic type vocabulary. So if you can practice and read along with the speakers at National Public Radio, it's a technique called tracking. If you can practice tracking and practicing all
the important elements of pronunciation that you need in order to score high on the TOEFL iBT speaking. So that would be one of my major suggestions there, is to practice reading with native speakers and practice reading academic type content so you can get used to the pausing, the grouping, the intonation, the stress, all the important elements of being able to speak English fluently. All right, so there you go. This is the answer. This is a question posed to me from Elias. I hope, Mohammed, that you've gotten some good tips here. I hope you're going in the right direction. At www.michaelbuckhoff.com